Welcome. Good evening.
Thank you, Michelle.
Let's start with some basics. We're constantly talking about the Northern Ireland Protocol. Explain to my viewers briefly, if you will, what this is, because I worry that sometimes people are not on the same page with this stuff.
Well, the protocol was signed up as part of the withdrawal agreement, the trade agreement. The European Union has a border. Now we're out of it. The border with the United Kingdom is between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, and therefore the European Union wants to protect its internal market from goods going in that they feel are at a threat to their internal market. So the real idea was that the protocol would protect their market, but at the same time stop a trade border being put between Northern Ireland and the Republic of Ireland, because the Irish government said, and the EU backed them, that this would cause problems, that we could have potentially violence coming back again if you had anything at the border. And Theresa May said that originally, that she didn't want any structures at the border. So the alternative that the Irish government and the EU came up with, and the British government agreed to then, was, well, let's have that border, what they call it the Irish Sea, but actually it's Belfast and Larne, it's on the land, that's where the checking goes. So Northern Ireland now has been left in the European Union Customs Union and part of the single market rules, which means that from now on, when the EU changes its rules, Northern Ireland will have to change those rules. So there's two things that's doing. There's a lot of checks now happening, so goods are not coming in freely from one part of the United Kingdom to another. And also, a lot of people feel very strongly that this has separated out Northern Ireland from the rest of the United Kingdom, and that's a constitutional issue which people who feel pro-Union and pro-British in Northern Ireland feel that they've been kind of neglected and abandoned by their government. All about protecting the Belfast Agreement, which was the peace agreement, which was meant to be even-handed. So it's protecting the north-south part of the Belfast Agreement, but it's not protecting the east-west. So that's where the problem is. That's why there are protests in Northern Ireland. And ultimately, it will have to be, I think, will have to go, because it's just not going to be sustainable. And there will have to be some recognition by the EU that they are trying to do things that are absolutely not necessary to protect that small amount of trade that goes from Northern Ireland into EU territory in the Republic of Ireland.
Now, a lot of people that voted Remain and are anti-Brexit will be watching this saying, but hang on a second, why was no thought given to this, the whole Northern Ireland situation, when we were discussing a referendum, or around 2016 or soon after? Why is it only just come about now?
Well, there was discussions about how we always knew that was going to be the border with the EU, and the previous Taoiseach actually had set up some meetings with Northern Ireland officials and the British officials about how they might have technical solutions to this, so that you could have checks that were done electronically before the goods left, that there was something called mutual agreement about what could go over the border without being checked. And all of those things then got stopped, because I'm afraid the reality was that the EU saw Northern Ireland as a kind of useful weapon to actually have, to punish the United Kingdom, and the Irish government saw it as a very useful way of helping to get an economic all-Ireland that then they would hope long-term would lead to a united Ireland politically. And so it was used as a weapon, and also it's being used now by the European Union to try and get the United Kingdom to come back into the whole of the United Kingdom to come back into their customs rules. So as Britain, the United Kingdom, wants to diverge more and more away from EU rules, because that's what part of leaving was all about, Northern Ireland will be left further and further behind, and that's the real danger to not just the Britishness of people in Northern Ireland, but to the union of the United Kingdom of Great Britain. And people didn't vote on their ballot paper, do you want a little bit of the EU to, a little bit of the UK to be still left under EU rules?
Now, a Remainer would say this is a complete mess. And now, like what you're saying here, the whole union potentially might be at question, at risk because of things like this. Do you think that's fair? Do you think this is a mess?
No, I don't think it's a mess. I understand why, I take you back, Michelle, to those years of parliamentary shenanigans where MPs, particularly from the Labour side, but some Tories as well, wanted to stop Brexit. They did everything they could. We had all those terrible debates, people thwarting it, trying to delay it, trying to get a second referendum. And so in the end, when Boris Johnson got elected, he got elected on a manifesto of getting Brexit done, and they wanted to get it over the line. And over the line meant giving in on the protocol, thinking that at some stage later this could be changed, but also not thinking that the EU would be quite so aggressive. And they have been, because there are more checks now going on at Larne and Belfast than there are in the whole of Rotterdam. You know, for the proportion of the goods, it's just ridiculous. So it's not sustainable. OK,
it's not sustainable. Well, all I can say is this deal was supposed to be oven ready. Clearly, it needs quite a bit more cooking. Well, thank you very much for your time. I'm sure there will be people with strong views and perhaps disagreement with you. Let me know what you think. Thank you, Baroness Hoey, for your time.